David Bowie, Reeves Gabrels, you are four musicians with a career and a character very different. So I wonder what makes the unity of your group?
Well, it all started with my mom having me. What makes the unity?
Yeah, of your group.
I think there's a
common bond
and purpose.
In that we like the energy of rock music, but we also have we try to pull a lot of dissimilar elements into it. Everybody's got separate interests and likes and dislikes, but the thing is that when we get together, we try to create something that's powerful and honest and satisfies us as a unit, which really pulls it all together.
For the first album, what was the motivation to work together?
We all like James Bond.
What's the motivation?
Yeah. For the first album,
we all like
because you knew each other before.
I think we really liked playing together.
Yeah,
that was the total motivation.
It's real simple.
And
just like playing together.
And that carried us on to the second record.
There's not much to read into this band. There really isn't. What you see is what you get.
Some people are made out of plastic.
So,
or parts of them.
So Reeves Gabrels, you are English, and
American.
You are American.
Yeah.
So since your youth, you are a fan of David Bowie. I know you bought your first guitar while listening Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah, well,
is
Mick
that true?
Ronson had a gold. I thought he had a gold Les Paul because he did a promotion picture with a gold Les Paul, and then it turned out that I never saw another picture of him again with a gold Les Paul. It was somewhere between him and Duane Allman, I think, was the motivation for that particular guitar. But yeah, I've always been a fan of David and the guitar players.
I've always been a fan of Reeves's. Seriously, ever since I heard his first stuff, I was a serious fan. I think he's a wonderful guitar player.
And Tony Sales, you are the musician. You were the musician of Iggy Pop, and you made a common tour in 1977 with David Bowie, Iggy Pop.
We played the Hippodrome in Paris.
So what is your experience of that moment, and did it help you for that common experience today?
Did that help us?
Yeah.
Well, in the thing that we worked together with David, and that we weren't working for David. Iggy was the main thing, and we were, there to make him look good, David, Tony, and I. So we had a common thing of just being musicians on the road, opposed to maybe at that time, a little before, after in David's career, working for him, which we never have.
And there was some good stuff that we used to do in sound checks, at the gigs before the show, when you're getting the instruments together. We would just sit and write and play, and we thought what we were doing was real interesting, and that sometime we should get together and do it. We never did, but now we did. It's like this much down the road we have got together with the addition of Reeves. Kind of little bits of pieces of maybe some of those ideas from back then as well.
So shortly, what do you think of the career of Iggy Pop today?
That's his own business. Yeah. I think he's doing very well. It's nice that he's had some recognition after all these years. Great.
So how did you progress between the first and this second album? What are the differences between the first and the second album?
Probably the major difference is that there's more time spent together and knowing each other's musical tastes, and being able to open up a little bit more. There's a common thread of trust in this band because we're friends. And on this album, this group is made up of 4 instrumentalists. It's Reeves on guitar, Hunt on drums, David on vocals, and myself on bass. And we all express ourselves through our instrument. And I think
it's the tuba in our case.
It's the tuba, yes.
You did many concerts.
Tuba concerts?
No, many concerts together.
20.
20?
16, 20, that's not
so
much.
much.
This next tour is very exciting. It's the first real stretch that we get on the road where we can really find out what this band is capable of doing.
In the first album, your songs were very direct, with songs taken from actuality. I remember Crack City, about drugs. I remember the John Lennon's Working Class Hero. And on the second album, I think they are more tough. They are tougher than on the first album. Baby Universal, for example, it's very hard.
Yeah, they're more self-searching in that way. They're tougher on ourselves.
That's you're one of the few people
That's
that's
very
noticed
good.
that.
That's
that
good.
you
That's
are one
where
of
the aggression on the second album lies. It's not.
You've
That's
seen
very
it.
perceptive.
The world,
It is.
The world's an easier target than...
Yeah,
Then
it's the
yourself.
soft option. But when you start looking into yourself and...
The music is soft, but the themes are tough.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
You-
Exactement.
Are you? I know you understand very well French. Si, si. Are you always obsessed by
His understanding French.
the future of the world, the future of humanity?
Just ourselves, you know, which may be humanity because we are
Yeah.
human. Hey, check it out. You know, I mean, as a human being, I'm fairly fragile, but life is pretty tough. You know, so put that in your pipe and smoke.
Are you worried by war? Are you worried by war? Are you worried? I know, David, you are worried by the bad treatment, bad treatment of children for children.
I'd have some kind of...
Jerry's kids.
Jerry's kids.
You and Jerry's kids.
Yeah.
I think Jerry Lewis does a wonderful thing raising money, you know, millions of dollars. He's one of the first people and the entertainers that come out and use their celebrity or whatever and go outside of their just show business thing and use the show business or their artistic thing to raise the consciousness
Yeah, he
and
really
raise
used
money.
it. He
And
really
he
used
really
it.
did that. Now, of course, everyone's on the bandwagon, which if that's a bandwagon, then that's good. Because if you can do some good, you know, stop doing this, stop destroying that, you know what I mean? That's good, I guess. That's a good thing. It's a positive thing. Anything that's positive is good, I think.
You know,
wait.
they're saying about money, you take care of the pennies and the dollars take care of themselves. Well, it's sort of like with the music, with the lyrical point of view on the second album, it's sort of like you take care of, you look at yourself
Look after the
and
pennies.
you
look after
examine yourself, and that will take care of the world.
Who we found, Ken?
I heard you will give a concert in Fréjus at the end of September
Oh, really?
about children and bad treatment for children. Is it true?
In September?
Yeah.
I haven't been told about
No?
it. If we're free, I'm quite sure that we would do
Yeah.
it. Absolutely. I love Fréjus for a start. It's fantastic.
So
It's like it's an old Roman amphitheatre. It's fantastic.
Is this
It's the
a
most
benefit
beautiful
we're doing?
setting in the world.
Is this a
Apparently
benefit?
so.
but, yeah, I heard that, but
It sounds
maybe it's not
good.
true.
We'd be up to doing benefits as long as there's a company car and a company box. And,
So Tin Machine gonna play a European tour for
Yeah.
1 month, a little more than 1 month.
About a month and a half. It's about 6 weeks, I think. And then we go to America.
2 concerts in France, in Paris, Olympia, and in Mulhouse,
Yeah.
but always in small places. Why small places?
This band is growing at its own pace. We're not keen to push it out of its own size. I mean, it's a new band. It's a small band. We enjoy the intimacy that we have with the audience that way, and we're quite happy with the rate that it's growing at. We don't want to push it into something it's not.
But it's always surprising for me because I think David Bowie can attract
not
many.
necessarily.
Yeah, but you are with the Tin Machine, so
Yes.
you are in
Yeah,
the
but
group.
it's not a solo exactly. I'm in the group. I'm not leading some vast circus.
we have to divorce his celebrityism of his own stuff that he did and see that this band is going on about 3 years old, second record, you know, and we haven't had an enormous hit single or album. So where would a band of this size as far as record buyers and fans and stuff play? Would they play a 15,000 seater? You know what I mean? Would someone come to Paris and play a 15,000 seater that didn't have a hit record? We're not playing David Bowie songs.
It's only
When-
Tim
you
Machine.
know,
Yeah.
we're-
Interested in
it's-
using
we're-
the celebrity.
But anyway, you are in the group, so there is an ambiguity.
There's no
maybe.
That will
He is
alter
a
itself in
person,
time.
you know.
The more albums we make, the more that we work live, it'll grow at its own pace. We're not rushing anything. We're very patient with what we're doing because we love being in the band.
The first single of the album is called "You Belong in Rock and Roll." That is one of the songs. So anyway, David Bowie, you never considered you as a rock star,
Not particularly, no.
and you were even severe, tough, hard with the rock stars. You said that most of rock stars were not very intelligent. You said that in 1977.
Probably I was right.
You, Do they know?
Oh, apparently I'm
You say, do they know what's going on out of rock and roll?
Uh-huh. That's an interesting statement.
So today you have changed.
I don't know many rock singers, so I know less now than I did in 1977.
This musical adventure with the Tin Machine is a forgotten part of your life, of your career.
This, what we're doing now?
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with him.
It's not. It's nothing to do.
He's just here.
Is it a way to kill your past?
Oh, that's a very philosophic question.
But is it a new?
It's not possible to kill one's past.
But it is possible to
Keep working.
begin another part of his life.
Every day is a beginning. Every single day is a beginning.
I mean, you know, you interviewed someone last week. You're interviewing us today, and you'll interview someone else next week, and it just
I mean,
goes
maybe
on,
you know
really
what? How would you feel if you interviewed Johnny Hallyday every single day for 7 days a week, year in, year out?
But it's the first time I have an interview with you.
Exactly. So you're changing. Now, why are you going through these changes? Don't you want to, are you trying to kill your past or something?
Yeah. But Sound and Vision Tour was your last public appearance as David Bowie.
Mm-hmm.
And you ended your last concert in Tokyo in August 1990 with the song Rock and Roll Suicide.
Was it in Tokyo?
It was in
Was that
Tokyo.
my last show? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was the last show, and the last song was Rock and Roll
I thought
Suicide.
it was in New York, actually. Where did I
Just
end up?
say yes.
I don't think so.
All right, yes.
Yes.
I don't
Whatever
think
you
so.
say.
Anyway, Rock and Roll Suicide. So did you kill the character of David Bowie that evening?
You're very keen on this. No, I don't think it's possible to kill one's past.
But it's a new part of your life anyway.
Well, of course, every day is a new day.
But you kill maybe the person David Bowie who was the cover of many masks in your life.
It's impossible to kill the
You can
past.
kill your cat. Did you put him to sleep?
Kill your cat, yeah.
9 times.
I think you killed that night all you did until now.
Oh,
No, that's, I mean,
that's fine.
That's-
That's
that's great,
okay for
yeah.
you.
it works. It works if you have a particular point of view.
But don't you think fans will ever look after David Bowie's shadow?
I think a mistake is made to think that everything is linear.
Mm.
You know, I mean, if you think that everything is linear, then you know, okay, the past stops. You know, the past stops with the present. The past stopped a second ago. You know, if you want to, unless you want to get into smaller subdivisions. You know, it's
I've
not
lived in one.
it's not like that. Life doesn't move on a straight line.
That's Einstein's theory of relativity, isn't it?
But anyway, David, anyway, you used to wear masks.
No, I did. Oh, only at Halloween, but that after 10 years old, he got out of it.
Oh, that's all past.
Well, the mud mask is really good for your skin, though.
It's interesting for the present. I think it's interesting for
But
the
how is
present.
it? How interesting is it? How interesting is what he did, or how boring is that to talk
I
about
mean,
now?
that's
I consider that
really
boring.
one of the most overused questions and overused statements that's followed me around forever. I mean, it's
But you cannot explain the role of these masks in
not
your
for
career and in your
not
life.
for the 100th time. We'll talk about Tin Machine.
I mean, I think that's boring as shit. I think it might be interesting to ask him, or me, or anyone, how they, or since you're talking to him, which is good, because I don't need to speak, but I'm speaking, it's like, how does he feel now? What's he doing now? I mean, what's past is go buy the old record, go rent an old video, and that's what he did then. So we don't have to live in the past, though I'm sure he doesn't forget it, good and bad. We all make mistakes. We all do some great shit in the past, but we're not going to live on that. You know what I mean? It's not friggin' Charlie Chaplin here that's like escaped everything and left his own country and, you know, has done his greatest work and that's it. Life goes on, and I think what David is doing, and Reeves and Tony and myself, and we have all done things to a greater, lesser degree of of being, maybe what I did 8 years ago was in a small club with 200 people, opposed to what he did was in a 15,000 seater. But I'm not doing today what I did 10 years ago, 8 years ago. Neither is anyone else. And life, and if you're going to grow, you don't have to throw away the past. But I think right now, and this thing is as exciting, if not more. But people seem to get locked up in the past because they don't want to change. Change is very hard, and you even wrote the song. So let's
Hell,
live.
I'd forgotten that.
So let's live it.
But I am interested in the inner side of human beings.
The interside here.
So it's the first time I meet you. So, and we are in Dublin. In Dublin,
Yeah, but you get
where
more
was
from-
born? Where was born Oscar Wilde?
And John Dunlop and George
Hey.
Bernard Shaw and Bram Stoker.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly,
get locked into one
exactly.
thing.
But you'd get more
But-
from the inner person from knowing what
I'm
they're
Bono.
But I'm
Bono.
sure. But I'm sure you, David
Bob
Bowie.
Geldof.
David Bowie. I'm sure you are obsessed
Van
Morrison.
by the double,
And Phil
by
Lynott.
the myth of double. I'm sure you
Myth
are.
of Dublin
You are.
is,
Yeah.
It's
I
about
know.
Artie and Brendan Byrne,
I know Image.
James Joyce.
Who made which
Lee
you made in
Lee
19
Majors.
Image that you made in 1967. I remember Look Back in Anger, the clip Look Back in Anger.
You know
And
something,
he-
we don't really want to talk
You are-
about this. Is boring.
No, but wait, I think it is interesting anyway.
You know, the concept of killing the past in light of the line of questions
It's very bad thinking.
but it's actually not a bad idea.
You think so?
Well, you know.
I
you
don't,
wouldn't-
I don't think it's possible.
Oh, I don't think it's possible either, but just in terms of the questions.
I don't know. How do you mean?
Well, then you wouldn't have to answer the questions.
Yeah.
What if you could kill the
just say
past?
it's dead.
Oh, if you could kill the past, you wouldn't ever have to talk
Ziggy
about it.
Stardust
The past never
is
died.
dead.
I
No,
mean,
but you can stifle,
So,
you can stifle the present.
2 or 3 more questions, please.
Listen, let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Ziggy Stardust and David Bowie is dead, except you can go buy it on Ryko disc, the whole catalog. But
I can get you a deal.
and I can get you a deal on it through his uncle.
You got to
But
trust.
2 or 3 more questions, please. If David Bowie never existed, who is David Robert Jones? And is it important to know him?
If he never existed, then how can you answer that question?
Is
Or
it
ever
important to know him?
This would be an instrumental album.
Yes or no?
You know something? You
Yes
know
or no
something?
yourself.
This is a Tin Machine interview, and David is the singer with Tin
Yeah,
Machine.
no, I understand that.
And-
But he is in Tin Machine.
Yes,
So
so
you're
is he.
directing. I think you're
But
insulting all the other members of the band.
No.
Because,
Yes.
you are.
No.
Listen, David went out of his way last year, and we stepped back aside and stopped the Tin Machine project so he could go out and do all his old songs and kind of to
fill a commitment that he
fill a
had.
commitment not only to the re-release of all his old catalog, but to all the people that had grown with him in his career, all the fans and people that wanted to hear all those songs, which I think was a good thing. So it wasn't just motivated to play big places and this and that. It really wasn't, because personally, me knowing about him, he didn't have to do that. There was no reason to do that,
The point
except
here is
for
that
that.
we have a commitment to the present.
Yeah, so now,
And let's deal with the present.
so now that he's
And the
done
present is music.
The present is this band.
that, it's
Is
still-
music
it's
and
music.
and the band.
It is the music of this band
And
as a
it's,
whole.
you know, and one question about how he feels, not, you know, to take it in a thing like he's in a zoo now behind a cage, feeling that this is getting into, which is insulting, is how do you feel today? What are your thoughts today? Because I think for anyone to answer what they felt in 1977 is bullshit. And if you want to lie to them, tell them what that meant in '77, because I know you don't remember. Because he probably
But
doesn't.
I think, yeah, but I think there is
answer you.
I think anyway there is a unity. There is a common point.
In this band.
Yeah, and David Bowie in 60s, 70s, 18, 90s, Winted Machine. I think there is a unity. What is this unity? During 3 decades.
It's friendship and
Um,
trust.
Yeah, it's knowing maybe who you aren't. You know what I mean? Because we all have preconceptions of who we think we are, and we need to control everything. So maybe it's about relinquishing control, and maybe I don't have to have people that work for me, but people that work with me. And this guy works with me, and fortunately or unfortunately, he has his own past that is superstar, whatever you want to call it. But that doesn't get in the way of him just being, you know, who he is to me. Because I don't look at it like that. I look at it like this. You know what I'm saying? And that's people get hung up on that. So someone said to us, has it helped having David Bowie in the band? It's hurt us tremendously, you know, in the sense of narrow-mindedness and people going on and on and on about his past career, because there's people out there that are 17 years old and 18 now that don't relate to that. They don't relate to those questions, though there are a big majority, probably, I'd call them a minority, but of the audience that may be my age or your age that grew up with David Bowie.
See, we did a TV show the other day in London, and we had a lot of kids coming over from Sweden and Holland and France, and they all came in their Tin Machine T-shirts and they had Tin Machine albums with them. They weren't there to be for me. They were there because they felt part of this band and part of what we're doing. And that's who we're working for. No, but that's not quite true. We're working for ourselves, but those are the people who are with us.
And anyone else who wants to come along.
And anybody, yeah,
Tin Machine and David Bowie's past career. On David Bowie's Sound Vision tour, I didn't hear any Bobby Darin songs. I didn't hear any Tin Machine songs. And in a Tin Machine show, you'll hear a couple of Bobby Darin songs, but no David Bowie.
So last question, how do you feel in the 90s? What do you think of the 90s?
The 90s are like the 60s, they're upside down, but with more diseases. Well, we're just in 91, and at the moment we're just in Saturday. I think everything's all right.
Thank you. Difficult anyway. Can you please sign?